Hello, hey everyone, how's it going? Nice to have you here. So, for this video, I'm just going to talk really quick about my thoughts on what games I think will be at EVO 2019. And I'm making this video right now because I feel like there are enough announcements for games coming up in the near future and have been enough major releases for fighting games this year that we can have a good idea for what will be at EVO on the main stage next year. So, alright. So, I'm going to start off with the ones I feel the most confident about, and the one absolutely will be there is Smash Ultimate, because Smash Wii U has been there, ever since its release, and it's always brought big numbers, a lot of interest. So, if you're going to get people paying admission to your event, you're going to want the reason for why they're there. So, Smash Ultimate would definitely be there. Heck, there's even a lot of excitement around the game for its competitive scene because the way the game is balanced is very different than the way Wii U was. And even the players from the different subdivisions of the Smash scene are taking interest in it. Players like Leffen, Mango, Zero, they're spread out because they usually focus on different games. But they're all coming together for Ultimate. So there's a lot of enthusiasm for the game within the community, so it will definitely be there. So the next up, I think, is going to be Tekken 7. And Tekken 7 is the only game I can really think of that has had consistent growth in its attendance numbers since its release on console. Even before that, when it was just an arcade title that would make appearances at some events every now and then, there was some growing interest into it. So, and with Season 2 DLC being announced to its fullest, and it'll probably be released before EVO comes out, so people will have enough time to practice with it. So it would probably be a really good choice for EVO. I mean, people really love it. It's a great game to watch play. So yeah, Tekken 7 will be there. Next game up, Dragon Ball FighterZ. I think it was the biggest game last year, or it just barely. Maybe I think it might have surpassed barely, or was just underneath Street Fighter V for 2018. But regardless, a first game having such large numbers is a big deal, and it's Dragon Ball. People are still excited about the game. They haven't announced any new DLC, like a Season 2 DLC. So, there's that's a little bit concerning, but regardless, the way the players are still committed to practicing and coming out to tournaments consistently is a big deal. So, yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ would definitely be there. There's a lot of interest still in the game. So the next up is Street Fighter V. And I was going to say I was kind of unsure about this, but, they announced that, I don't know if they really announced Season 3, but just this past weekend, Capcom Cup concluded and they rebalanced the game in the middle of the tournament. It was so weird, they dropped the new character before the announcement came out, which is really weird. But yeah, so the new character Kage's out. We're not too sure if they're gonna release more characters in the near future. It's kind of unusual, but regardless, I'm sure Street Fighter V would definitely, that might be its last year at EVO if they're gonna announce a Street Fighter 6 or a new version of Street Fighter V. But I'm fairly confident that it'll definitely be there. I mean, it's always a well-supported series competitively. So Street Fighter V would definitely be there. And of course, Soul Calibur 6 is going to be at EVO because people have been asking about Soul Calibur forever. Is this a really dormant game? And people have always wondered, where Soul Calibur 6 coming? And it came out of nowhere, and people are hyped. People are excited about the game. It's fun to watch, and the competitors really enjoy playing it because I haven't played it myself, but I hear it's a very deep game. There's a lot of next level decisions on what you have to make. So it's very interesting. I'd very much like to play it myself, but in the meantime, I'm gonna just watch. But yeah, and even from that standpoint, I have to say it's a very fun game to watch. Characters look cool, they animate great, the lighting effects are awesome, and yeah. So Soul Calibur 6, I'm fairly confident it would be there. And the next slot would go to another Realm game. And when I was planning this video, I was kind of saying I'm not too sure, but then when I was planning it out, the very next day, this game, Mortal Kombat 11, was announced. And it's going to have a release date of April 23rd, I believe. So yeah, you know, that kind of goes without saying that Mortal Kombat 11 is definitely going to be there. One of the biggest fighting game franchises ever. One of the biggest video game brands out there. So Mortal Kombat 11 is definitely going to be at EVO. Most likely the Sunday stage. And yeah, so it'll definitely be there. And the next two spots, or the next few spots, I'm not too sure about. But if I had to guess anything, it would probably be Guilty Gear Rev 2. If not, the new Guilty Gear that Arc System Works has said they've been working on. And Guilty Gear at EVO this year, 2018, was amazing. Not only because, well, like this was the year that a lot of American players reached top 16 and had the highest placing American player in EVO history, Lost Soul, who got third place, which never happens before. So there's definitely shifts in the strength of the players, which is very interesting. So the competitive scene is still pretty fresh, and you know, people really enjoy watching the game. Now, what makes me unsure about it is that it's an old game. You know, I think all the DLC for Rev 2 has already come out. I don't think there's any future plans to add on to it anymore. But if anything, what change about that is if they announce a new Guilty Gear sometime in the near future, and that will be at EVO. Regardless, I think Rev 2 will probably be the choice to go with. Next up is going to be Super Smash Bros. Melee, whatever you call it. But yeah, Smash Melee has had a rich history, and even at EVO, you know, although people do argue that it's not the biggest Smash tournament, it is definitely a highlight in, you know, top level players' career. I mean, people really count their EVO wins because it's the biggest Melee tournament. Well, I just said it's not the biggest, but it's one of the biggest. You know, it's the one that a lot of people come to. So it is definitely one. It was definitely a win you cannot ignore. So, and you know, although some of the Melee players are interested in Ultimate, I don't think they're fully ready to migrate all the way to Ultimate. You know, they want to see how the meta is in Ultimate, to see if they like it, to see if they enjoy the way it plays, if they're ready to go to a new game, because they've been sticking with Melee for so long, almost 20 years, and keeping the competitive scene alive. It's been love labor. So, you know, they wouldn't be ready to just let that go so easily. And, you know, so if anything, it might be its last year at EVO. But, you know, if they still want to play Melee competitively, they will. You know, nothing's stopping them. So the 9th spot is really a big stretch. I have no idea what the 9th spot could be because this year there was no 9th game. So they could do anything with this 9th spot. They could just not have anything at all. But if I were to put my money on anything, it would probably be BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. They were really pushing it as like a pretty big esports title, and it had a very exciting run at EVO this year. A lot of upsets, and all the DLC is out. They might release more. There were some rumors that there are going to be characters from different series entering the game, so there was more support coming up in the future, most likely. So with the extra support, they would probably want to put it on another spotlight at EVO. So it might go to that 9th spot. If not BlazBlue Cross Tag, it might be that Grand Blue game that they announced like literally 2 days ago. But I'm not too sure about it. If they want to really push that as like a big title for them, as big as like BlazBlue or Guilty Gear. But yeah, you know, those are the two games I would consider. But the 9th spot, I think, could really go to anything. But regardless, that's going to be my choices for the games I believe will be at EVO 2019. Let me know if you think any of these games won't be there and what games would rather be there. What games do you wish got a spot at EVO? Because I know Under Night in Birth deserves a spot, but they never got it. Skullgirls as well. There are a lot of really, great games out there with really dedicated communities that, they really deserve spots on EVO, but, there's almost so much time in the weekend. But let me know what you think. Do you think any of your games will make it to the EVO weekend? And have a good one. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.